Welcome to That's My Therapy. I'm Alicia Belzer, a master's student in adventure-based psychotherapy and experiential education.
I'm Amanda Reedy, a clinical social worker, and I work as a mental health therapist. And this is what my voice sounds like.
And this is what my voice sounds like.
And if that's confusing, we get it.
Understand.
Yeah, you'll figure it out, or you'll do your best.
We are sisters and mental health professionals who often spend our days discussing how we find connection, healing, and peace in the world. We believe therapy is a great tool for healing. However, we hope to demystify what healing can look like, as in our experience, humans are intuitive, creative, and determined when it comes to caring for themselves.
Yeah, they naturally find resources outside of therapy to help them heal and grow, and each week we will get curious about therapeutic things that aren't traditional talk therapy, and we'll break down why those things might be working for you from a clinical lens. Because at the end of the day, there is no one way to do therapy.
We come to this show, as a reminder, not as experts, but as fellow explorers of what really helps humans promote change and health. Let's get it. Episode 3. How you doing, Manda?
I'm noticing I'm not super present. My brain is in another space.
What decade of Outlander is your brain in right now?
1770.
The 1770s. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. North Carolina, pre-Revolutionary War. Yeah, I've lost myself. This happens every once in a while. I can't be responsible with certain things, like television.
How do you feel about New Year's resolutions?
I feel in general they tend to be sometimes shame-based, a slippery slope to disappointment. And I love them. When done well, I also think they can be helpful. I think it's a time of reflection to say, what are my values? What do I want to be working towards? If you do that for 2 weeks, what a great 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think they can be both. In general, resolutions that have no clear path or are just like I'm going to lose 20 pounds. Like, that's a goal. Like, there's no, I don't know. You'd have to put a lot more into, like, I'm going to focus on moving my body every day, or, you know.
Right.
I don't love a resolution that, one, the wellness, I say that very sarcastically, industry makes you think that you need to change yourself every single year. Like,
definitely.
You know, and adapt because you failed the previous year, and then this year's your chance. Which also, we shouldn't be making resolutions in the dead of winter.
Oh my gosh.
If anything, I think we should have like a spring equinox resolution, you know, because then you actually feel the shifting of the seasons, so your body actually feels like it's time to make a change.
To renew. What? Who do we address that letter to? Because we got to tell somebody that
just
that's
us.
a better idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because for me, in the dead of winter, there's no part of me is like, and now's the time to make major life changes. So I love an intention. One, because it's vague enough that it's low pressure, I feel like.
Sure.
It's just a gentle reminder to return to when you have decisions that you can make. We love doing a word of the year.
Yes. Remind me of yours.
Mine is creativity. And the way that we think of our word is you don't think of it. It comes to you. At least that's my
It makes itself
feeling.
known.
Yeah, I will just sit for a little bit and be like, what do I want this year to hold for me? And yeah, like, bam, that word came up.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to focus on it all the time, but then in moments when I have the opportunity to engage in something that is creative, then I can return to that intention that I set in the beginning of the year and maybe choose that path versus more television.
Sure. Yeah. I also think there's so much like clinical evidence of like how to set a goal
and we kind of touched on this when we were talking about climbing, that like big change and progress happens in 5 to 10% increments. Mm-hmm. And the pressure of a resolution tells you like, where will you be after 100% of this year has passed? So there's all this clinical evidence that setting a goal to see like the very end of that achievement works way more against you than for you.
Right. Yep. It's like, oh, I'm setting an intention because this is coming from a place within me that knows that this is what I should make.
It's a quality.
Yeah.
You want to imbue. Yours was creativity. Mine was truth. And speaking of qualities, Manda and I use a book. We give it out to a lot of our most loved ones called The Book of Qualities. And if you haven't noticed, we love using tools on this podcast as a means to check in. So I thought today we would look up our yearly word in the Book of Qualities. Yeah, I'll do the same rule. You can't read your own. Okay. So I'll read...
I cry in these, so...
Yeah, I'll read Manda's, which is creativity. Creativity is not efficient. She has a different relationship to time than most of us. A minute can last a day, and a day can last an hour. She loves all the seasons. She is on intimate terms with the sun and the moon, and it is New Year's all year long at her house. What with celebrations for the Celtic, Hebrew, Tibetan, Chinese, Japanese, and other New Years too numerous to mention. Although bright colors amuse her, she most often wears neutral tones. She is especially partial to off-white. Some people consider creativity selfish because she does what she wants. I have always found her to be gracious and the most generous. If you insist she is mad, you will never see how still her face is when she returns from a dream. Sometimes creativity disappears completely or wanders around the back alleys for weeks at a time. She has a strong need to be occasionally anonymous. If you run into her at the post office line during one of these periods, you will probably not even recognize her. She is in a different place. It is almost as if her blood has slowed down. When the blank period is over, creativity brings her free self home with her. Her skin is new. She is ready to work. More than anyone else, creativity understands the secret meanings of the months when nothing seems to get done.
I mean, the first sentence gets you right away.
Yeah.
Creativity is not efficient. And that's the beauty of her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. That like aligns so much with what we're talking about too about, I don't know, we're feeling New Year's all the time because you're aware of the changes and the seasons and like, yeah, that, okay, I'll try and read yours. You know, sometimes I get self-conscious when I read because I had an ex once tell me, you know, when you read, you do this, I can always hear your sharp breath at the end of every sentence. So hopefully it's not too obvious. Okay, so Alicia, your word is truth. I could get all the air.
You get one breath this whole time.
Yeah.
Use it well.
Okay. Truth is tall and rather unconventional looking. He has golden hair and a short beard. He does not like statistics, and he is not particularly concerned about facts, but he loves a good story. He chronicled the contemporary film scene for a while. He quit when his reviews started being quoted out of context. Though he never hides what he feels, by nature he is gentle and not at all sarcastic. However, he does have a fierce temper. He has observed that people who only listen with one ear when he says something in a kind way are always impressed by his anger. Truth has been employed as a thief stealing illusions. He can climb over any security fence we have constructed to keep out disturbing influences. Although he can unlock any window or door, he is no longer interested in breaking in or getting away, no longer thrilled by the chase nor by defying authorities. He has given up on the challenge of trying to find new ways to escape. X-rays, photographs of cells, and the history of plants fascinate Truth. When Truth's fingers touch my shoulder, I hear bone touching bone. Truth has set down his bundle of needs, and his shoulders are soft and spacious, outlined by light. He lingers in long pauses between the questions and answers. Certainty and uncertainty are both welcome at his table. Truth is willing to wait for a long time with little attention or visible encouragement. Truth is not willing to live without love.
Oh.
I had the chills on the last part.
Will you read the last line again?
Truth is willing to wait for a long time with little attention or visible encouragement. Truth is not willing to live without love.
Yeah, I think this year, well, to move back, last year it became really clear that I suffer from a severe intolerance to negative emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And as life is difficult and tends to often be so, it means I was hiding a lot of myself most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I met a part last year that is my truth speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And she's my intuition and my hard beliefs on things and my attention to detail.
Mm-hmm.
And I've neglected that part for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I feel like, damn, Gendler.
Yeah.
Put a story to that part.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, moving on. Let's get into what's our therapy this week.
All right. So we're going to do a joint sharing.
Yeah, about a very controversial topic.
Right.
But that many find very therapeutic and others find not.
I often am in both camps.
Yeah, I play jump rope with that line.
Yeah.
The topic is
CrossFit. What is your impression of CrossFit prior to doing it? Had you not known me, I guess.
Had I not known you, I think I saw CrossFit as a very hostile approach to fitness.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, I saw it as very aggressive and all-encompassing, where if you do CrossFit, you do little else and you talk about little else. And that there is an intensity about you that I don't want to be around.
Yeah. Yep.
Or that you, and that this is probably my own insecurities, that like if you do CrossFit, like I'm sure you have a lot of opinions about other people's bodies that I don't want to entertain. I don't want to hear your thoughts about how people's bodies should be.
Right.
Yeah. To be clear, me and my partner Sarah are trying CrossFit for the first time this year with the intention of, at some point in our lives, we want to be very strong, especially to climb hard. We've been like plateaued at bouldering at like V4, V5 level for a really long time. So we were like, let's get jacked and then hopefully we can climb harder things. And our impressions so far, this is a straight activity. Yeah, even the like pretty gay people are also straight there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, once you enter through the doors. Yeah.
Yeah, they separate weight into like boys' weight and girls' weight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you could just say heavyweight, lighter weight.
Yeah.
Or, I think also the nature of competitive events or competitive lifestyle, I've kind of evolved to think of that as like a straight thing to do. Of just like bringing this essence of competition into your daily life.
Yeah, and what's your relationship with competition?
Well, we both know our fathers. So
Yeah.
it's poor. Well, so I think we both are very competitive people.
Yeah.
And fear the effect it has on us.
Yeah.
And fear the criticism of others for being inadequate in the face of a competition. Like if my skills are on display for the intention of being judged, shut down.
Yeah. So, and I have to confess, like, I have a very competitive side to me, a part of me, and I then had to make really big shifts to not carry that.
Right.
And I think I overcorrected to the point of indifference and apathy a little bit. I had to get to a place where I didn't care because it was preventing me from trying things and being bad at them. And, it's a self-limiting belief that it's like, oh, if I don't show some like natural talent for this, then it's not for me, or it's like, then I shouldn't even pursue it farther. After college for me, I was a cheerleader, and, I was like, I gotta move my body after that. It was just like, I don't know what to do. Like so many college people in high school, or you've done sports your whole life or have just been part of a team. And then afterwards you're just like, I'm just supposed to like go and like lift weights on my own. Like, I understand this. I'm so used to like so much of my body and physical energy was like going towards this purpose. So without that, I was like really noticing I wasn't that well, like I was just like, oh, I'm not strong anymore. I don't feel that like good in my body, like, so I kind of decided I needed to do something different. And so I have been going to CrossFit on and off for years,
Right.
And I just sort of had to get it in my head that, you're just going to be bad at things and you just have to pretend that you don't care. And I actually made myself feel like I didn't care, which I also needed to do, there are timed workouts and you're keeping track of your weight. Like there are aspects of CrossFit that like weren't good for me.
Right.
But the workouts themselves I really liked because they're varied. They're different every single time. They're short. They're intense. Like you feel like you get a good workout. You're not doing the same thing though. I do not like being last. Honestly, all I ever want to be in my life is in the middle, which
that extends to so many other things for me.
Can I just be good enough so I'm not noticed at the bottom? And I don't want to be, I'm sure there's parts of me that want to be like number one, but honestly, I just want to like skate through life being unseen. That's a part of me that also has some healing to do,
How's your relationship with CrossFit changed from like when you first started to now?
Well, I did a real overcorrect in the sense where I had joined a new gym. I was going to another gym that they made you like call out your times at the end and like what weight you did. And I was like, this is not for me. This is not good for me to then, I was like, I just felt good about the workout that I had done. So anyway, the thing that I said about the goal, I reminded myself every single time I went to the gym was, you've already won.
You're here.
You have won the day.
Yeah.
Like you made it to the gym. It does not matter what weight you do, what time you get, if you're the last, whatever. You have won the day. No one is going to, like, you will not let anybody make you feel inferior for this. And no one is, but myself
you
is
would,
determined, Okay, let me just tell you a story.
Tell me.
About a time that CrossFit was absolutely therapeutic, though. Because we do know that, okay, obviously moving your body is going to be good for your brain. Pretty obvious. But I will tell a story about what happened to me when I had joined a new gym. I had taken a break from CrossFit because I was at this other CrossFit gym that was like, ugh, not a fan.
This is hostile.
This is not the kind of environment I want to be in. These aren't the type of people I want to be around. It's just not for me. But before that, this weekend before I had joined was, I did a training for internal family systems therapy. And for those of you who don't know, it is kind of a trending topic right now, but IFS is a type of therapy where you do some parts work. So you'll probably often hear Ali and I talk about, there's a part of me that feels this way, there's a part of me that feels this way.
Yeah. The idea is that the whole is made up of parts. And what we need to notice about those parts is they have our own agendas separate than maybe the overall thing we need to do.
Right.
So and those agendas keep us safe, keep us loved, keep us connected.
Yeah. So the belief is that all parts have positive intent, even the ones that maybe we don't love all the time, but they are wanting good things for us, but they don't know how to do it differently. So a lot of IFS work is meeting with those parts of you and meeting with like kind of your inner child and figuring out where are they stuck, how can we help them, what else would they like to do for the system, your internal system, in that actually benefits you.
Yeah. What do you need to feel safe? And how can I give you a new role that serves us better?
Yeah. And or how can I just be a witness to your story? Too is what is the biggest thing probably for IFS is unblending and witnessing.
So can you break down your parts work that you did right before this CrossFit session?
So I have a real part that it's a younger part of me that like needs to prove. Is like I can picture her, she's on her toes, and she's like this, like bouncing, rocking on her toes, bouncing. She's little and she's watching my brother do the obstacle course. And my dad's got a stopwatch, and she is so full of belief that she could do it, that she's like, put me in, coach, put me in, coach, put me,
Yeah.
And she bounces on her little toes, and she's ready to run, and she's ready to prove to her father and her brother and anybody around that she is as good, as fast, as smart. And, my brother's only a year and a half older than me, but that's a year and a half older of development, and he's very athletic. And, so I have some parts, like it starts then. Yeah. And also my time is never going to be as fast as my brother. And this part developed this year for the slight tonal shifts in the way people would talk to my brother, or to me. So they'd be like, good, they'd be like, whoa, Aaron, like, you under 2 minutes, it was like, that was 30 seconds. Yeah, because we would create elaborate obstacle courses and then be timed.
Yeah.
And the genuine enthusiasm in my dad's voice. And then there was the, good job, Amanda. Like the shift where that's a little bit different.
Amanda has had an ear for the patriarchy since birth.
It's just a tiny ear for criticism. Yeah. Even when it's not even criticism, it's just, this is why I don't even fault my father for it. It's just, I was so sensitive to it because I was so on my toes. On my toes. I'm like 5-6 years old. Like, I'm going to do it. I can prove it. I can do it.
Well, and I think little you was also, you chose to do the exact same things that Aaron did, that he was like naturally so good at. Yeah. So you might have neglected some of the pieces of you that like were very naturally good at other things.
Yeah, probably.
To try and like step into the same shoes. Or
I probably got that same enthusiasm in other areas, but I heard it in these ones. Yeah. And then I feel like, lacking. So feeling compared to other people is such a activating thing in my nervous system. So being in a timed environment for me is that part. She's bouncing on her toes again. I'm also engaged in something that I cannot be the top of this class.
No.
I cannot prove myself in the weight because these people are lifting and running, and CrossFitters, that's what they do. They're like, this is my identity. And I was like, I just want to move my body.
I just want to feel strong today.
And I can't do it myself because I can't just go to a gym and then be like, I'm going to decide for myself to challenge myself. I'm like, no, any decision I make is going to be like,
I think even when I do, like when I bring myself to a space where I'm like, okay, you're going to challenge yourself today, pick that up, do something cool. And then even I look at myself and I'm like, you're not my real dad. You can't tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to do.
This is where, I have so much self-compassion for myself, but sometimes it's
a little too much.
It's like, it forgets to challenge me, you know? Where I'm like, oh, that was 2 reps. It's fine.
You already won.
Good job. Good enough. Go home. Or I'm like, okay, this is pointless, which is why I need like a coach there setting up workouts, telling me what to do.
So what was your relationship to this part
during the session before CrossFit, and then how did she come up?
This
in the
was
CrossFit
like a
session?
training, so I'm just like learning about this as a theme. I kind of found this part, and she showed me all these memories and stuff, and then I was kind of just blown away by this IFS experience. I was like, I felt like I stumbled on this great truth in the world that had been here this whole time,
which is the modality Manda now specializes in.
Yeah,
too.
And so then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go to the gym today because this was the day. Like, whoa, trainings are kind of exhausting, but I want to move my body. And I had just started at this new gym. And the coach there got coach dad energy, which I now historically cannot be told what to do by a man. So anyway, it was my first day back at this gym. And I was just like, and I could feel this part being with me. On her toes, and I was able to like join me in this workout. I'm gonna be here too, so she doesn't have to take over and get into that zone of not enough, you know, because she also is like, she will cry, like she feels so,
she's a little girl,
hurt when she hears the shift in the enthusiasm, or she sees that she didn't win, or she sees that she can't beat the time. And so I had taken a break from working out. So this is my first workout back, and it is a fucking brutal workout. Box jumps and burpees and wall balls and like just like super high intensity that I'm like, I cannot keep up, you know?
No.
And so I was like, do this workout just be with me. And I felt her in a way where she wasn't taking over. She wasn't hijacking my nervous system that puts me on edge, that makes my heart race, that makes it like, you know, it shows up in my throat where I'm on the verge of tears because people are looking at me and I'm not performing well. And then the music at the gym is it was like all like pop punk that day.
Sure.
So there's a ton of like, there's in the Yellow Card and like Blink 182 and like All Time Low. I don't even know. All American Rejects. So it's just like this very specific playlist too to this like teenager part of me where this was really like solidified. And so, and I'm to the point where like I'm dying, I'm sweating, I'm last in this workout and I am laughing.
Oh,
because I was like, it's us. We're doing it. I was like, it's me. Like, she's with me, giving me the energy to like push my body, but we have let go of the burden of the belief that if I do not succeed in this or do not perform in this, then I am less than I am lacking, then I'm not enough. And I literally felt that belief move through me. And
oh my God.
Like unburdened from that.
That I could cry. What I see, like I picture this where you're in the backyard. I can see our little our little tree house in the background, and what you did, where all her attention was on dad and brother. You were like, hey, I'm going to do it too. Do you want to just hang out with me?
Yeah.
And you drew her attention away from this thing she needs to be and gave her like community.
Right.
But also made her feel strong because she's still doing it.
Right.
It's just doing it with you.
I sent all of my energy that I needed an adult. One, I needed an adult to not have a stopwatch, you know?
Amen.
But at the same time, I needed an adult to say, you are enough. And I gave that to myself. And I did it in this really challenging workout. Yeah.
What is also coming to mind is when it comes to like, what is your therapy? A lot of times, the most effective parts of actual talk therapy for me, where I meet with a therapist, those words or whatever revelations I had in that space could be really irrelevant if I didn't practice integrating it into life.
Yeah.
So when we see ourselves connecting to our bodies and others and the world around us through like CrossFit or climbing or reading fiction, like these are things that I see you've been given a gift. You've been given some knowledge about yourself. And then it's your job to like apply these things, because awareness unfortunately does not equal healing.
No.
Which I fall for all the time.
Which I tell people, I was like, hey, if you could have thought your way
out of this,
you would have done it already. You're a smart person. You have the awareness. That's not the barrier here. The education is not the barrier.
No, I intellectualize all my emotions. Yeah. And it feels good to categorize and label and understand these emotions so well, but then you don't feel better.
That's so true. Because it's not like that was a mystery to me. It was like, oh, I know I have this competitive side because I've been trying to prove myself to my father all these years. And I was like, oh, yeah, I know that exists. I didn't know how to feel any different about it. All I could do was create up systems so that I'm not activated all the time. Like, oh, I can't work out with my partner because God forbid he comments on my form or something. Yeah. Or it's like, oh, I just don't engage in these activities because then I'm going to feel this way and it's going to put me, that's not integration at all. That's just straight up avoidance. But when I felt through it and we moved through it physically and emotionally, I'm like laughing. I'm almost crying in this workout too. As we're doing burpees, I'm like
joy
from just like
being seen.
Yeah. Yeah, of just like, we're doing it. It was like that.
I'm so glad it's us.
I'm so glad. Look at us.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Look at us.
Not me.
Yeah.
It makes me want to rethink why I'm doing CrossFit. Mm-hmm. I feel like part of it is about my body, right? And how I want it to maybe not look, but I want to be so strong. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, where is that coming from? And can I integrate that into CrossFit a little bit better? Mm-hmm. Because I've just had this energy going into it, just like, yeah, I want to rip a car in half. Like, I want to be so jacked.
Yeah, interesting. Can I share a little bit?
Yeah, please.
So I had to re-enter the fitness world with this really gentle spirit for a long time. And I was like, this is how I'm being kind to my body, is believing she has so much inherent worthiness exactly as she is. Yeah. Which also means I was like, you do not have to push yourself to the point of exhaustion. You do not have to, so I had this really gentle, compassionate experience with my body for a long time. And I'm noticing a shift, which is I still inherently believe that my body is good, has so much worthiness exactly as she is. And she can do hard things. I am ready to actually start pushing and challenging a little bit because I believe her so capable.
Oh, that's such a good distinction. I think that is, I'm coming off of 2 years that have made me feel so weak. Yeah. And lost. Mm-hmm. And I'm coming back into my body being, I think fighting against that label after so long, after failing my classes, after losing people. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm not necessarily want to prove to myself that I am strong again, but just knowing that I am strong and wanting to put it to use. Right. Because so far I've been using my strength to survive the loss of a best friend and survive a horrible job and survive difficult parts in life and relationship and family. And that is I want to reward my strength by now doing the things that bring me utter joy. Right. And I don't want to apply so much strength to surviving anymore. Right, yeah. I'm good. My body got me through those years.
Yeah. No, our bodies are so good and we just love them. Just love your body, you guys.
Yeah, we were debating, I guess we should talk about exercise. Was I cannot talk about one more, yeah, obviously exercise is good for you.
Right. And if you're entering a space of I'm going to change the shape of my body. I'm going to do that. I'm going to work out so that I'm good. We know that that's not where it comes from. It's how do we treat the things that we believe have value in our lives? The things that we inherently hold in really high regard, we treat well. And if we start from that place, then you'll actually might find a deeper well of reserve when it comes to doing the things that help your body feel good.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I feel I am the reason CrossFit is feeling therapeutic for me right now is that I'm going in with the mindset of this is giving my body exactly what it wants and deserves.
Right.
Which is strength. And like strength leads to like less pain and ease. Like I can do the things that bring me joy with ease if I am stronger. Yeah. And in that sense, I can walk in like you did. It's just like, I've won. I can't believe I'm here. I've won.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so long story short, I think we had a lot of qualms with CrossFit, or I definitely did before I started. And there's still aspects of it that I don't connect with.
Sure.
And I see CrossFit being so therapeutic for other people. Like it's where they find community.
A lot of people call it church.
Yeah, their church or their family. This is your second family. And I feel bad for yucking other people's yum for so long about CrossFit, even with its flaws.
I don't need to be the best at working out. Like, where's the
I know. It's like, I'm so sorry, everyone. You've been like challenging your body, connecting with others, and benefiting from it for years with me, like really critical of that experience. So we're doing it now. In the short of things, find a way to integrate what you've learned about yourself that makes you feel good. And always stay close. Stay close.
My son has my boy, and I was like, I designed this house too, and they're like, that's really nice, Amanda.